We're doing it. We're doing it.
Hey, fellas, look what I found in my pocket. Look.
We're doing it. Heating up at the right time, back-to-back winning weeks, above 500 on the season, and we look to keep it going. Get hot, stay hot. Roll tape. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Dan Fates here with another edition of Uncle Dan's Best Bets. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, we appreciate it as always. Once again, Uncle Dan's Best Bets is proudly brought to you by Incognito Menswear, located in Penfield. They've been the sponsor of this segment on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel for this entire season. We really appreciate their support. If you need something for a holiday party, you need something for a wedding, you need something for a prom, anything like that, looking to spice up the wardrobe. It's not just suits. How about you got a holiday party coming up? How about some flannels? What about a vest? Incognito Menswear has got you covered. I worked with Alex. Great business, just like the business that we're in here of winning. So again, please be sure to check out Incognito Menswear located in Penfield. Tell them that Uncle Dan sent you. Look, this is fun. This is fun. This is why we do this segment. Back-to-back winning weeks. Last week, we got 500. Last week, I said was the most important week of the season to get above 500, and we did just that. 7-4 off of following the previous week. We went 13-7. So we are now 20-11 over our last 2 weeks. We are now over 500 for the season. Feels good. This is what we always talked about, that shooters shoot. And you got to keep just firing picks. We never wanted to bet scared.
What I call them? Fun coupons. See that? A fun coupon.
Feels pretty damn good. Feels pretty damn good to make money for you. Again, always bet responsibly, but hey, this has been a lot of fun these last 2 weeks. Looking to keep it going. You always talk about football teams wanting to be playing their best football at the end of the season. Maybe doing our best gambling here at the end of the season.
Think I got my swagger back.
All right, as we move forward, again, turn the page, move on. You're only as good as your last week. So as we head into week 14 for the season, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plays and a teaser for you. Okay, we could always add more. Again, be sure to check out, follow me on X or Twitter at Dan Fates. Always seem to add some plays because I did take one off the board. But again, tricky week here in the sense of we have a lot of backup quarterbacks playing, trying to figure out everybody's still seemingly in the playoff mix. So you're trying to make sure you're betting on what teams are still having something to play for, which teams have already checked out. And again, weather has been a concern. So this week, weather I was actually looking at more than I have in the past, trying not to outthink myself with some of these weather games. But I got 9 plays and then a teaser. And it's been a crazy week. Bills were on a bye last week, but since then they've been doing damage control, trying to figure out what the heck is going on with Buffalo, how they will respond. I will get to that at the end because I will tell you that that game has my best bet of the week, which we are hitting. We're like 2-0 in our last 2. So we're heating up well. We'll start right at the beginning, though. Bucks at Falcons. I like the over of 41. I like a lot of overs this week. Unders have been hitting all this season. I think it's time to finally start hitting some overs. Bucks and Falcons. Look, the Bucks don't have a great defense. They're banged up, and they only are really good defensively against really bad offensive teams. I think the Falcons are competent enough, and I think the Falcons will get a relief after playing in terrible weather conditions and against a really good Jets defense. I think they find something. I think it'll be a lot easier treading for them being at home against a Bucks defense that really isn't that great anymore. I don't see why this game isn't played in the 20s, and the Falcons are kind of the same way. Both teams seem to have great defenses against bad offenses. I think both of these offenses are competent enough to have this game played in the 20s. I will take the over 41. We're double dipping on a couple games here. I will also take the Falcons minus 2.5 against the Bucks. I don't understand this line. The money isn't really telling me anyway, one way or another, but I just think the Falcons are the better team at home. They can seemingly lock up the division against the Bucks. They just seem like a team that doesn't know where they're going. Todd Bowles is just not a great coach. I'm not saying Arthur Smith is, but this just seems like a spot where you're getting the Falcons at home, coming off a win against the Jets, where ugly wins, maybe you just kind of start building off something off that. So there, I like the over, and I like the Falcons minus 2.5. I also like the over in the Lions Bears game. It's at 43. Couple reasons why. The weather isn't supposed to be as bad as what was originally forecasted. Yes, it's going to be cold and it's going to be slightly windy, but it's not going to be brutally windy. This is going to be a 20-mile-per-hour wind gust kind of game, and there isn't supposed to be any precipitation. The Lions defense can't stop anybody, but I still think their offense is good enough to move the ball against the Bears. I still think they have enough pieces to put up points against a Bears defense that is playing better as of late. So I like the over because, again, I see this just being another game being played 23-20, somewhere in that range of a close game. But I think the Lions, knowing it's a divisional game, knowing they need this to possibly get one step closer to the division title, and the weather isn't that scary. So if I can get a Lions game in low 40s, I'm going to take it, especially with the way that Justin Fields has been playing and how bad the Lions defense is. The Lions defense is always going to get games into shootouts because of how poor they are. I think Justin Fields and DJ Moore and this offense can do enough against a very bad Lions defense to get this game to be played in the 20s. Again, whether or not a massive concern in that game. I also like Justin Fields over rushing yards total. As of Friday night, Saturday morning, it's at 62.5 rushing yards. Justin Fields averages in 4 games against the Lions 98 rushing yards per game. The Lions have no answer at how to stop him. He has rushed for over 100 yards in each of the last 3 games against the Lions, and the Lions are missing their starting defensive tackle, who is one of their best run stoppers. I think Justin Fields gets run loose. He's coming off a bye on top of a Thursday game, so I believe he's got almost 2.5 weeks, a week and a half of rest. Not great at math, but I still think that Justin Fields over rushing yards. I think that's another way that their Bears can move the ball against a very porous Lions defense. I also like the over in the Colts and Bengals game. I know that's 3 overs right now. Colts and Bengals. Colts are 5-1 on the road, but I think Jake Browning showed us a little bit of life. I also think that the Bengals defense is better than what they showed on Monday night against Jacksonville, but I think you're also getting them a little banged up because of the shorter week. Colts just seem to play weird games. Most of their games, I think they're 8-4 to the over, with their totals being close to 50. A lot of they have high-scoring games. And again, the weather isn't supposed to be terrible. It's supposed to be in the 40s, light rain, not brutal bad winds. Early in the week, everybody was forecasting terrible weather conditions. It's not supposed to be terrible in Cincinnati. It shouldn't affect too much of the passing game. I like the over 44. I don't think you're asking too much for Jake Browning to kind of ride that high off that game. I'm not going to bet against Jake Browning. I think he probably comes back down to earth a little bit. But again, we saw that the Bengals still have enough talent around them offensively to still put up points against the Colts defense that you never really know what you're going to get. Next game, I like Kyren Williams. The Rams are facing the Ravens, and this is a game that could be a torrential downpour. We could be having 100% precipitation throughout most of the game. This is the one that I was a little bit worried about. But Kyren Williams, over his last 2 weeks, coming back from an injury, he's carried the ball 37 times for 231 yards. And last week, he did it against a really good Browns defense, or what some people are calling a really good Browns defense. He's becoming the bell cow. He is becoming what has made the Rams, who have won a few in a row, brought them back into the playoff picture. I think he's the focal point in a very wet and rainy game. Low scoring. I like Kyren Williams to go over 69.5 rushing yards. I think he is their offense as they go up against the Ravens rushing defense. I know we always talk about how good the Ravens defense are, and I think they're absolutely a Super Bowl contender. Their rushing defense is about middle of the pack. So again, Kyren Williams over 69.5 rushing yards. I also have my teaser in this game. It includes this. I will tease the Rams up to 13.5, and I will tease the Packers down to half a point. So I need the Packers to win and the Rams to keep it within 2 touchdowns in a rainy game. If I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, you always want to take the points. I'm going to bump the points up even more, and I'm going to bet the Packers down. They're on the road at the New York Giants. I think Jordan Love has found something offensively. Matt LaFleur is really good. I think he's 16-0 in December games as a head coach for the Packers. I like the Packers to win straight up and the Rams to stay within 2 touchdowns against the Ravens in Baltimore. My last 3 plays, I was so right. So right about the 49ers last week. Said it was a perfect spot. And for everybody that says Vegas doesn't hand out money, oh my gosh, I can't believe the Eagles being disrespected at home as an underdog. The Niners are really good. And I just thought the spot that what it was, the Eagles being emotionally drained, coming off 92 snaps against the Bills, I loved the 49ers. I was really right. I was very right. Like I said, I almost made that my best bet. This week, I'm all back on the Eagles. I'm all the way back on the Eagles. Eagles are getting 43% of the bets, but they're getting 63% of the money. Big bets are coming in on the Eagles at plus 3.5. I absolutely want to make sure I have the hook. If you have to buy the half point, I suggest buying the half point there at Dallas. This line is sneaky small. I think a lot of people are saying, wow, that's crazy. I can get Dallas, who has won 15, 16 in a row at home. I only got to lay 3.5 against an Eagles team that looked terrible against the 49ers at home. This is one of those spots. I love teams, betting on teams, bouncing back off embarrassing losses on national TV. Everybody saw the Eagles get bullied by the 49ers. That's a tough week. That's a week that resets your team in the locker room and inside that building. You get back to basics. I think Dak Prescott has been very good, but he's 0-2 against teams with winning records this season. They went back and forth early in the season. I think this game's high scoring, but I just think the way that this is an Eagles team, veteran leadership, bouncing back, I think they may have been looking ahead a little bit to this game. This is pretty much their season. It is for both teams, but I just like the fact that you're getting points here, especially the hook at 3.5. This just seems like a case of you got embarrassed and you got punked. I think they bounce back in a big way. Everybody's counting out the Eagles. Dak's going to be MVP. All of these things. Eagles defense isn't good. I think they bow up this week and actually play really well on the road in Dallas, and they get the win. But I'll take the 3.5 points on top of it. Yeah, and a little extra motivation for the Eagles. Big Dom will not be on the sidelines, according to reports. Eagles win this one. They do it for Dom, top of it. And finally, my last 2 plays. Bills at Chiefs. Give me the Bills plus 1.5 at Kansas City. And here's why. Josh Allen, as an underdog of a touchdown or less in his career, is 14-5-4 against the spread. He's really good as an underdog, especially small ones. Crazy 2 weeks for the Bills between Von Miller's arrest and the allegations of domestic violence against his pregnant girlfriend, as well as the article by Ty Dunn that comes out that pretty much rips Sean McDermott's character, leadership, and accountability inside that building. I thought when we left Philly that I was like, the Bills, the way that their offense is clicking, they're absolutely going to go to Kansas City and win. All this stuff off the field slightly concerns me. I'm not going to lie. But hearing Micah Hyde talk on Friday about I back Sean McDermott 100%, it's a low blow from former players and coaches to say that, and it's a cowardly move. We support Sean McDermott. I have his back. I'm pro Sean McDermott. That's what I think this team rallies around. Some wounds are self-inflicted. The Von Miller distraction is a self-inflicted wound that I think could alter that locker room. But I think this Ty Dunn piece could rally the Bills together. That nobody thinks we're any good. Nobody likes our head coach, but we do. I'm just saying I can see the Bills winning this game. Josh Allen playing outstanding and getting to the podium afterwards and saying, we won that one for Sean. He's our guy. Nobody understands how tight-knit group we are in this locker room. That's just a gut feeling. I think the Bills go. I think the Chiefs defense is banged up. They are missing 4 starters between no Isaiah Pacheco. This line moved from 3 all the way down to 1.5. Big money early on in the week. And again, Josh Allen, pretty good as an underdog, really good as a small dog in this one. I will take the Bills plus 1.5. This is just a case of a hungry dog runs faster. I love the Bills plus 1 in this game. I'd even sprinkle some on the money line. And finally, my best bet, 2-unit best bet play of the week. It is Josh Allen over 32.5 rushing yards. It's time to put on the cape, Josh. We saw last week with the season on the line, Josh Allen played unbelievable. Joe Brady giving Josh the freedom. Josh having that swagger back in his career. Josh has rushed for over, I think it's 58 yards a game in his 5 games, averaging 58 yards on the ground in his 5 games against the Chiefs. I expect to see more of that this week. The Chiefs defense is really good. They can get after Josh, but I think Josh is going to have to move around just like he did in that Eagles game. And this is just one of those games that Josh Allen, I think, puts the team on his back, says, we are not losing. And if I got to run over a linebacker or hurdle over him, all bets are off. It's not about worrying and making sure that I'm healthy for next week. It is you got to win now because, as Deion Dawkins says, there is no hiding from it. We got to win out. I think Josh Allen puts the team on his back, puts the Superman cape on, and comes out and runs for probably another 50 yards and another great performance in Kansas City once again. So there are the 9 plays as well as the teaser. Do what you want with them. I appreciate it as always. Ian, John McClintock, Basil, appreciate the guys. It's so funny when I say these things, and then you guys text me and say, wow, that was so cool to put me in your video. Yeah, I appreciate my friends that have supported me. I see the comments in the chats. I appreciate everybody that put ads in their picks. I can't think of the name right now, but I do see all of your plays. Your stinky bet last week of the Cardinals, that hit as well. So hats off to you. Appreciate it as always. Once again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Buffalo Plus channel here on YouTube. If you haven't done it, take a second. Now do it. Appreciate it. If you want me to win this week, please subscribe and like this video. Please. It's the holiday season. It's time for giving. And again, thank you to Incognito Menswear for being a proud sponsor of Uncle Dan's Best Bets. We'll catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Best of luck to all your bets this weekend with Uncle Dan.